Hey, what's up, y'all? So it's your boy Veda. I wanted to come and, start doing this more consistently. So I figured the first one I did, I think was, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, but, wanted to do it more consistently. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Jesse Vargas and Thomas Dulorme, the entire card, the entire DAZN card. For one, I think that the Jesse Vargas and Dulorme fight was a really competitive fight. It ended up being a draw, and it's funny because it's something about a draw that almost feels unsatisfying. Even though the fight was really close, and if one person would have said Dulorme win, other person would have said they thought Jesse Vargas won. I'm sorry, I said win. Won. It probably would have been a dispute. And a draw is almost like the safest thing, but it's just something about that, right? It's almost like, I still want to complain. It's like, I'd rather you say Jesse Vargas won, and I don't think he won, but I want to complain. You almost feel like it was a conclusion. Excuse me. But it was a really competitive fight. I personally thought Dulorme won, but I stopped scoring it after like round 5. I stopped scoring it. Just the eye test, I thought Thomas Dulorme outperformed Jesse Vargas. In fact, when Jesse Vargas got the knockdown, I was like, yo, you needed that, because I don't know how the judges were scoring it. Come to find out, when Thomas Dulorme got a knockdown, I think that was in the 12th and final round, Thomas Dulorme needed that, because without that knockdown, he would have ultimately gotten the loss, so, but it was a really competitive fight, but I'm just really impressed with the entire production. I tuned in at about 4:30, 4 o'clock. They started showing preliminaries at 3, so I think I missed one fight, but watching the entire thing, just as a boxing fan, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know right now with the independent American media, it's a lot of hate right now with anything and everything Eddie Hearn does, it seems like, with the whole Anthony Joshua thing and the DAZN, and it seems like it's a whole lot of hate going on with that. I think distaste would be understatement, but as a fan, being unbiased, I enjoy myself. And, if that's how Eddie Hearn took the Matchroom name to the next level in the UK, I can see why. Because none of the fights on this card were fight of the year. It wasn't any huge names, but as a fan, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched so much boxing today, and it was almost all entertaining. Personally, in my opinion, the most boring fight was, I think it was the fight at 122. I forget their names, but even that fight wasn't boring, but it was the most I found myself disinterested. The entire thing was competitive. Even the preliminary stuff, before 6 o'clock Pacific time, they were showing fights. I thought it was all competitive. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. I felt like I was at the arena. I know when I go to boxing events and I'm there for a long amount of times and I'm enjoying myself because I love the sport, I felt really similar to that, and I was just at the crib. You feel me? And I was just at the crib. So I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I thought that the entire event was dope. I thought the production was awesome. They clearly have a budget, and that's great. That's great for boxing. It's great for the viewership. Even the preliminary stuff, it was awesome, man. They had interviewing people in the hallway. You could see the fighter who just won walking past, the interviewer and the interviewee. It was just great. It was just great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I give 4 thumbs up. So this plus this, I give 4 thumbs up for DAZN's first official show. I know they aired the Anthony Joshua fight first a week or so ago, but this was the first official show. I think they did an awesome job. As a boxing fan, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a bunch of competitive and fun fights. And I also think that what Eddie Hearn and DAZN is doing is just going to make ESPN and Showtime and Fox, they're just going to step their game up. They're already stepping their game up as far as making offers to fighters are concerned. They're already, like, you see ESPN suddenly got a a newer deal with Bob Arum, you know, after the DAZN thing. You see Showtime and Fox did a deal with Al Heyman, you know, after that, you know, and I have friends who are boxers, man. You know, matter of fact, make sure y'all watch The Contender. You know, I know mostly everybody on that show. You know, last night, the most recent episode, Brandon Cannon Adams won. You know, he won by KO, devastating fashion. I think he has the best performance so far, by far, you know. But anyway, this ain't about The Contender, or maybe I'll do another video about that. But this is about the show tonight for DAZN. I thought it was a very great show, very entertaining. And also, it was people like, I know they had Brian Kenny. I remember him from ESPN. They had Chris Mannix. I see him around all the time. I don't know who the young woman is who was with Chris Mannix for the most part. I've never seen her, never heard of her before. But she at least sounds like she know a little bit about boxing, you know. And that encourages me. And I'm not saying she doesn't know more than a little bit, by the way. I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying she sounds like she's familiar with the sport. And that entices me so much because, like, I love ESPN's productions, but, man, Stephen A., you look, when you talking about basketball, man, when you insider stuff, hey, I ain't going to question you. You know, I disagree with a lot of stuff Stephen A. says when he says things about how black people are in America. Every now and then he says some stuff that I think is real. Then he says stuff that I'm like, you know, like, bro, what are you doing? Like, why would you say that as a black man? It's ridiculous for you to say that. But, you know, you entitled to your own opinion. But it's one thing for me to disagree with you. It's another thing for you to have no idea what you're talking about. And ESPN has people that have no idea what they're talking about. It's people on YouTube who I never click on their videos, even though it shows up recommended, because I always look at boxing stuff, and I don't click on it because I know that they are either extremely biased, or I just always disagree with them, or I think they're, you know, even if you're extremely biased, you can still know the sport. I'm saying ESPN be having people that don't know the sport. You can tell that they just read something before they started filming. You know what I mean? And they just saying random facts that don't got nothing to do with what they talking about. And DAZN didn't do that, or it certainly didn't seem like it. You know, it's even the one, the black brother, I saw him on DAZN. You know, and I usually see him like on ESPN talking basketball. That's where I recognize his face from. But he sound like he know a little bit about boxing, you know, because it ain't about me agreeing with you. It ain't about boxing fans agreeing with you. It's about clearly not knowing what you're talking about, you know. So I'm glad that they have that. I mean, the entire team. The only thing they didn't have, Eddie Hearn said that Steve Farhood is working for them as well. You know, and he was at this fight because I heard them make reference to his scorecard, but they didn't show it. So I don't know if that's like a license thing. Maybe they can't have him talk because he has a deal with Showtime. If that's the case, I don't know what y'all hired him for. You know, just to say Steve Farhood is there. I don't know. But even if it ain't him, have somebody else do a scorecard where y'all can show it at the bottom of the screen. Other than that, man, it was excellent, because the reason I say that is because the Vargas Dulorme fight was really close. And you can see, what's my man's name? I fought Danny Jacobs. Sergio Mora, you know, he was thinking Vargas won. Brian Kenny thought Dulorme was winning, and Sugar Ray was like, man, I don't know. It was just a good fight. I don't know. But nobody was scoring it round by round. And it just would have helped for structure purposes to have somebody share their opinion, because they're intentionally doing it round by round. Personally, I thought Dulorme won the first 3 rounds clearly. I thought Jesse Vargas outclassed him in the 4th round. The 5th round, I thought it was competitive. And then something happened outside, and I looked, and I missed 45 seconds, and I didn't score that round. And then I just stopped scoring it. So I didn't score it round by round. But I do know that from watching the fight, the eye test, I thought Dulorme won. You know, even with that knockdown, even if he didn't knock Jesse Vargas down in the end, I still thought Dulorme outperformed him and did enough to win the fight. You know, but the eye test doesn't always mean anything. I remember when Canelo and Triple G fought the very first time, I thought in the eye test, Triple G clearly won, like a lot of other people. But even my own scorecard, I had it a draw because I had Canelo winning the first 3 rounds. Then I had Triple G winning virtually every round after that, except for 11 and 12. So that's 5 rounds. And then it was when Triple G was winning basically every round, I thought it was one round that you could kind of give to Canelo, and I gave it to Canelo. So, boom, I got a 6-6 scorecard, even though I feel like Triple G certainly outperformed him in the first fight. You know what I mean? So the eye test doesn't always mean anything, or it doesn't always mean everything. Let me say that. It doesn't always mean everything, but not scoring it, I thought Dulorme certainly outperformed him. Big Baby Miller, he got a 2nd round knockout. Words to Cannabis. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let the world know the truth. You don't want me to shine. You study my rhyme. Then you laid your vocals after mine. That's a trick move, something that a homo rapper would do. So when you say that you platinum, you only dropping clues. I studied your background, worth the book that you wrote, circle footnotes about how you used to sniff coke. Friend like a drug-free role model, you disgust me. I know chicks that seen you smoke weed recently. You walk around showing off your body because it sells. Plus to avoid the fact that you ain't got scales. Mad at me because I kick that real as feel. While 99% of your fans were high heels. Which I know about that. That's 2nd round knockout. So shouts out to Big Baby Miller for randomly making me remember Cannabis. 2nd round knockout. The classic diss record to LL Cool J. And shouts out to LL Cool J for responding with a classic diss record of himself. I love rap beef. I love it. And I'm a preacher, y'all. And I still love rap beef. If any of y'all out there rapping, y'all feeling confident, please diss me. Please give me a reason to serve you on this microphone, baby. Anyway, but back to the point. Yeah, Big Baby Miller had a 2nd round knockout. He was supposed to win. But, you gotta look, I fight, y'all. I'm not a pro or nothing, but I fight. And I think it's important. Like, boxing isn't like basketball, right? So if the Warriors play the Kings and they win by 25 points, it's like, yeah, y'all supposed to do that. Boxing isn't like that. If I'm fighting somebody who I'm supposed to beat and I beat them the way I'm supposed to, give me credit. Because I'm fighting somebody who still came to knock my head off. This person wasn't just coming oh, well, I'm fighting Big Baby Miller. No, this is an adult. This is a grown man who came in here to whoop you. And they weren't able to whoop you. So Big Baby Miller, much respect. You deserve a lot of respect for that win. You did what you were supposed to do. You handled your business. You right there in the running. I don't think you're going to get Anthony Joshua in April. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Yeah, I got a baby that's asleep. But she's straight. You feel me? She's straight. Anyway, so I think, what was I saying? I was talking about Big Baby Miller. You know what I'm saying? I was saying don't be judging fighters. I don't remember what I was saying. I was somewhere along those lines. But, yeah, man, shouts out to Big Baby Miller. I don't think you're going to get the fight in April. Not because I think he keeping Anthony Joshua completely away from you. I don't think he's in a hurry to let you get him. But you probably would get the April fight, presuming the Deontay Wilder or Tyson Fury fight doesn't happen. But I think that if Anthony Joshua debuts in America and it's not against Deontay Wilder, I think that Big Baby Miller would be that person. And I think that he probably would prefer to have that fight in Brooklyn or Madison Square Garden, opposed to out there. But you never know. You never know. That's what's so amazing about boxing. You never know. Rocky Fielding would have never thought that he would be fighting Canelo. You never know, man. You never know. So, hey, shouts out to Big Baby Miller. Who else fought? Oh, Arthur Beterbiev. Woo! Yo, I think highly of Arthur Beterbiev, man. So when he got knocked down in the 2nd round, I know he was put down before. I was like, oh! It was really fun stuff. Then he came back and stopped him. Man, that's Arthur Beterbiev. I rate that guy really high. I think he is the best person who is not known right now in boxing. And if I'm wrong, it's probably because I don't know the other person. I just don't know the other person, right? You know, but I think Arthur Beterbiev is the best person that nobody talks about. Very underrated signing for Matchroom and DAZN. He might be the best person at 175. I'm excited to see how that go. Who else fought? We had a hometown winner. She won a world champion. She won a world championship. I forget her name. McAllister or something, you know. She did her thing. She did her thing. Very tough fighter. She did awesome. Who else fought? And then the super bantamweight fight that I mentioned earlier. It was a solid fight. It was a solid fight. But the fact that a solid fight was the one that I was most disinterested in means that the entire thing, even in the preliminaries, man, it was this dude. I liked him. I actually want to shout him out. I forget his name. His name was Anthony Sims or something like that. What was his name? Was it Anthony Sims Jr.? He fight at 175. Anthony Sims Jr. Was that his name? I want to make sure I shout him out properly. Yep, Anthony Sims Jr. Yeah, shouts out to him, man. He looked really good. He looked really good in his fight tonight. He did his thing, and I appreciated his message. You know, he took the time to, you know, say some positive stuff. I thought that was really dope. So that's my video, man. That's my video. DAZN, they did their thing. You know, $9.99. I'm not mad at it. We'll see if they get the Canelo fight. You know, I'm not Eddie Hearn cheerleader, but I'm also not an Eddie Hearn basher like a lot of my brothers who I see online. You know, I personally, in my humble opinion, you know, I like what Eddie Hearn's doing. I think he answers a lot of questions. I respect him for answering tough questions. I respect him for not blocking people from asking him questions. He welcomes it comfortably. You know, hey, I rocks with it. I rocks with it. You know, and I thought that as a boxing fan, this was an amazing premiere. Shouts out to DAZN. Shouts out to Jesse Vargas and Dulorme and Big Baby Miller and Academic. I forget the guy's name. Big Baby. I know his name ain't Academic, but when I spelled it, I was like, man, this looks like Academic. You know, but shouts out to everybody involved. You know, shouts out to the judges. The one thing I want to see, hey, yo, Eddie Hearn, I'm probably, because I don't be having time to go to fights and stuff no more, but I might go to a fight just so I can see you, Eddie Hearn, just to say this to you. Since you have so much freedom, please, brother, set up something where y'all can interview the judges after the fight, all right? So even when we disagree, like, okay, y'all scored it 10 rounds to 2, and everybody disagrees with you. At least allow that judge to be like, well, you know, from what I saw, I thought blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop, and I gave him or her 10 rounds, gave the other fighter 2. Boom. It'll at least demystify a lot of things in the sport. I've been hoping that someone will implement that practice for the longest, and I still do. So Hearn, Eddie Hearn, bro, do that. Interview the judges. Set something up where the judges interview. You know, it ain't got to be too long. You know, just a quick conversation with Brian Kenny after the fight. Let them know what they saw from their perspective. I think that would be awesome. Please implement that. Please. I literally might get a credential just so I could come see you, just so I could ask you that, because I hope that happens. But anyway, fun night of boxing. I know Conor McGregor and Khabib is fighting right now. I didn't order it. I'm a member of the UFC gym, so I can watch those fights for free, but I didn't feel like going because I got church in the morning. You feel me? So, yeah, I'm out. Beta Real MC. This is me. Bye. Y'all have a good one. I'm out.